Alright folks, it's time for my top 10 metal albums of 2012. There are a lot of great releases this year that I wish I could have put onto the list, but I had to narrow it down. I'll end up making a runners-up video for those that would like to see what my choices were that weren't quite the top 10, but I still really liked. Now, let's get this started. Number 10 is Lamb of God's Resolution. The reason why this isn't ahead of many of the others on this list is a disheartening one at that. A few of the songs are just flat out boring and don't hold my attention at all, but the songs that are good, god damn, they're really good. Many of the songs on here are amazing, from the progressive number 6 to the story-driven Ghost Walking, which is, one of their more famous ones from this album. In fact, they're up there with, my favorite songs of the year. But the others, like Barbarossa and Invictus, they just drag it down like pockets full of lead in the ocean. Just doesn't help. I mean, and goddammit, Randy, don't sing. Doesn't work for you, probably never will. Now, my recommended songs for this album are going to have to be Ghost Walking, the number 6, best song on the album by far, and To the End. Now, on to the next one. Number 9 is Wheelfall's Interzone. This album is, well, it's science fiction stoner metal. It's just such an odd concept for me to wrap my brain around. I mean, I love sci-fi, and I do like stoner metal, but I never thought of them as very compatible bandmates. This group, who hails from the land of France, seems, though, to pull it off brilliantly, as the ear-raking Sabbathian riffs, that's a compliment, by the way, sludge on, while the Gojira-esque lead vocalist half rasps, half screams out his lyrics. Admittedly, I can't understand a damn thing he is saying. I can kind of pick and choose a few words. And I haven't bothered to look up the lyrics online, but I'm sure they deal with aliens and government conspiracies, as the cover, shows, that big walker thing. And another thing, they only have 6 songs on this album. Shows you a bit about the length of most of the songs, so strap in, get ready for some sludgy, gooey goodness. Now, my recommended songs off of this album are Howling, Holy Sky, and The Parasite Ravages. Number 8, Diablo Swing Orchestra, Pandora's Pinata. This band is, well, it's a strange one, that's for sure. Somehow being able to blend the big band jazz and swing music together with metal, they've created a sound that is unique unto themselves, and quite frankly, it is awesome. Do any of you remember seeing Princess and the Frog? You know the songs in that movie? Well, imagine them performed with their normal instruments, the saxophones, the strings, what have you, but adding some drop-tune guitars, bass guitars, and drum kits thrown into the mix. You see where I'm coming from here? Strange, I know, but very good. So good, in fact, that I've been able to get a few of my metal-hating friends to head bob along with their music. That, ladies and gentlemen, takes some talent. But let's focus on another area of their sound. Freaking female vocals. Holy crap in a handbasket. This woman has some pipes. You know those singers that people call operatic? Just, have a really good range or can go very high? Well, that term literally applies to this singer. She is an opera singer. There's no two ways about it. And yeah, it's crazy. There's some amazing tracks in this album, but the standout for me is their single, Voodoo, Mon-Amour. Oh my god, is that good. They even have a typography music video for it up on YouTube, so after this, go check it out. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, my recommended songs from this album are Voodoo, Mon-Amour, Justice for St. Mary, and Black Box Messiah. Be warned about Black Box Messiah one, that one's a little, well, it'll haunt your nightmares. Number 7, Strikers, Armed to the Teeth. I'm a great lover of heavy, power, and speed metal, so it's really no surprise to me that the sophomore release for these Canadian shredders is on my list. The mix of classic heavy metal with more modern speed and power metal elements is an amazing combination. Though not credibly original, this time-tested mix has proven itself yet again with this group's amazing musicianship and vocals. Every song goes to 11. It takes no prisoners, gives no quarter, and shreds your face off. This one will be blasted out of my speakers for months and months, if not years and years to come. And honestly, I can't wait for this band's next release. Now, also as a side note, the vocalist kind of reminds me of Jeff Tate from Queensryche. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one that notices it, but hey, maybe you can hear it too. Now, my favorite songs, recommended songs off of this album, are Lethal Force, Feed My Fire, and Wolfgang. Number 6 is Beyond the Bridges, The Old Man, and The Spirit. The only way you can make a debut album sound this damn good, this relaxed, just this easy, is if you work your ass off on it. And boy oh boy, does it show with Beyond the Bridge. Originally, the group formed in 1999, but they went off and did their own things before that really went anywhere. Luckily, however, they came back and decided to give that whole music thing a try. Lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, you get one gloriously performed and written selection of music. This album is, along with the other prog albums on this list, up there in my favorite albums of all time. Seriously guys, that's how good this is. Now, admittedly it might come off as gloriously cheesy, but that's the charm that these Germans possess. They can somehow create something that sounds so immensely goofy at times, with the amount of cheese factor it contains, yet at the same time be taken very seriously. I love it, and it deserves its number 6 spot on my list. Now my recommended songs are The Apparition, Doorway to Salvation, and All a Man Can Do. By the way, All a Man Can Do is probably the best album ender I've ever heard. Number 5 is Accept's Stalingrad. Believe it or not, I haven't always been that well versed in the ways of heavy metal. In fact, it took me all the way until I was a junior in high school to even appreciate harsh vocals. Even then, I wouldn't have been able to stand the heavier stuff I listen to now. In fact, it was the beginning of 2012 that I really started giving a hoot about heavy metal bands that weren't well known and more underground. Although this band isn't really unknown or underground in any way, they were one of the first albums that I ever bought in the new year, and one of the first metal CDs I've ever purchased. Why did I purchase it, you ask? Because it's fantastic. That's why. Every song is driving and filled with unbridled amounts of energy. From a song about the Battle of Stalingrad to a song about gunslingers, there's everything for everybody here. Fantastic speed and heavy metal from a fantastic band. Also, I'm finding myself more appreciative of the new singer's voice over Udo's. Don't throw anything. I can hear you yelling at the screen right now. Anyways, my recommended songs for the album are Stalingrad, The Quick and the Dead, and Hung, Drawn, and Quartered. Number 4 is The Stranded's Survivalism Boulevard. Now, I'm a sucker for well-written hooks on songs, and doubly so for melodic death metal outfits. There's just something about those keys that come in and build the atmosphere. It also helps that melodic death metal, well, this brand of it anyways, is my absolute favorite genre of metal. Such good music for gaming, for riding, for exercising, anything kinetic. It's so good for that. Anyways, enough about why I like the genre. On to why I like the album. Seemingly a side project for the 2 remaining members of Disharmonia Mundi, The Stranded are a group comprised of Ettore Rigotti, who's the vocalist on Disharmonia Mundi, Claudio Ravano, I believe the harsh screamer, or the harsh singer on Disharmonia Mundi, guitarist Elliot Sloan, who, believe it or not, is a pro skater on Team Tony Hawk. Crazy, right? And Alessio Neo Argentino, rounding out the group as their keyboardist. This group really has the whole can be catchy yet heavy as all hell sound down, and down tight. They're not too terribly creative in the songwriting, as most melodic death metal tends to end up. The musicianship and the vocals are just a joy to listen to. If you like heavy, but you want your music to be catchy at the same time, give this a listen to and see what you think. And yes, I know it's pretty much Disharmonia Mundi Mark II, but hey, it's awesome, so what are you gonna do? Anyways, my recommended songs for this album are Carnival Shroud, Blackout Season, and Ill Will Future. Number 3 on my list is Lich Kings' Born of the Bomb. It seems that thrash has become one of the biggest contributions to my taste lately, with quite a few albums now gracing my collection, be they serious or otherwise. Looking at you, Austrian Death Machine. Anyways, here it is, my number 3. These guys just made my jaw drop to the damn floor. Their whole act, the vocalist, guitarist, drummer, and bassist are just fantastic. Every song is filled with immense amounts of energy and fun, and almost all of them are completely tongue-in-cheek with their goofy energy. As with most goofy energy in music, goofy mind you, not obnoxious. It puts you into a great mood, clears up depression, shoos away the blues, makes you headbang. In fact, I'm prescribing this. Doctor's orders. Anyways, this is my favorite thrash album of 2012, and as they say, they came to conquer. My favorite songs are Axe Cop, my favorite song of 2012, Agnosticism, and We Came to Conquer. Number 2 is Headspace's I Am Anonymous. As of late, I found myself being drawn towards the progressive crowd more and more. I don't know if it's because I like the utter complexity of the genre, or how almost each and every musician in this genre is just fan-freaking-tastic. I can't say, however, that it's not a bad thing, as it lets me find groups such as the newly formed Headspace. Their album, I Am Anonymous, is a concept album with an overarching theme, much like Symphony X's Iconoclast, which is my favorite album of all time, by the way. The theme here is one about war and how it changes things, or at least that's what I take away from it. Musicianship is tight and controlled, with beautifully efficient doses of each band member being placed exactly where they should be. This is probably one of my favorite albums that I've ever heard. Yes, that should put it up there above my number 1, but that's, it's number 2 because number 1's up in my favorite albums as well. So shut it, hecklers. Anyways, I digress. The album ranges from a staggeringly beautiful to crushingly brutal in some parts. And man, does it send a chill down my spine every time I give it a listen to. As with number 1 on this album, I recommend it. Definitely recommend it. Also, the lead singer is a fantastic vocalist. Whew! Anyways, recommended songs are Fall of America, In Hell's Name, and Daddy Fucking Loves You, which, by the way, it is near goddamn perfect. Number 1 is Peripheries, This Time It's Personal. It's very rare that there are bands that can just pull complete 180s after their initial release and pull out something spectacular. And not to say that their original album and the Icarus EP were anything to scoff at, but they really put their big boy pants on for this one. Their songwriting styles completely changed. They've hired a new vocalist and they've tightened everything up, from production values to instrumental prowess. They've gotten so much better. Gone are the days of Misha Mansour's, the lead guitarist's, wet dream of having a band to himself and being the primary songwriter. Now are the days of the band crafting amazing work as a team. Now, on to the new singer. Holy crap, this guy's got some vocal chops. Harsh and scream vocals are down pat with this dude, and he has a great, and I mean great, singing voice. He's probably up there with Matt Bellamy and the singer for Tesseract, the original one, by the way. I don't like the newer ones. They kind of suck. I highly recommend you guys check this album out. Give it a spin, and you may just find something you'll love, like me. My favorite songs off this album are Facepalm, Mute, Scarlet, and Luck is a Constant. And that about sums it up. My top 10 albums of 2012. There's a few lesser known ones that are in there that I hope can get a little bit more attention through this list, and maybe they'll break through into the popularity market. Okay, maybe not. As always, remember, it's just my opinion on this, and it's fair to have your own. So, you can have your own list of 2012, and that's fine. This isn't a definite fact. Anyways. And that's about it. My top 10 albums of 2012. There's a few lesser known ones that are in here that I hope can get a little bit more attention through this list, and maybe they'll break through into the popularity market. Okay, maybe not. As always, remember, it's my opinion and it's fair to have your own. Check out these bands if you haven't before. Comment, rate, subscribe. See you next time on Metal Monday. This is Tony, signing you off, and leaving you with my favorite song of the year.